everybody! Hello, happy campers, and welcome to Actual Play UK. Tonight we are playing the wonderful Final Girl. Please remember to follow and subscribe. If you've got Prime, you can subscribe for free with Prime. All of that really helps us out and pays for all this wonderful tech and John's wonderful time. So if you haven't followed, follow. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe maybe. Beep, beep, beep. So my name is Naomi Clark. You can find me at Naomi Thinks It all over the internet. And we're playing Final Girl, which is by Gas Mask Games. And it is a slasher. So we are getting really Halloween-y this evening. Boo, 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 boo. However, I'm not doing that alone. I have to find some people to kill. So this evening, starting with my dear friend, Michelle. Michelle, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello. My name is Michelle Kelly, she, her. I am at Michellecopter on whatever social medias are still standing these days. And I'm an actor, singer, voice actor, and Naomi's willing victim, I guess.
Fab. Maddy.
Hello, yes, I'm Maddy Searle. My pronouns are they, them, and you can find me all over the socials at Maddy is Abstract. And yeah, I'm extremely excited to be horribly killed.
Fabulous. Laura.
Hello, I'm Laura Girling. My pronouns are she, her, and you can find me again on socials with the handle by Laura Girling or Laura_C_Girling. Take your pick, and I'm ready to get spooky.
And Lou on the end there.
Hey, I am Lou Fryer. I am she, her, and I am an editor, writer, and sometimes podcaster. And I am not excited to be killed, but I was so flattered that Naomi asked me that I didn't say no.
Oh, that was your first mistake. So we're going to do a little warm-up question to get everybody in the mood. And our warm-up question today is actually Halloween-based, which is, what is your favorite spooky monster? And because you seemed so unsure when I asked you this earlier, I'm going to start with Laura.
Okay, yeah. So I've been mulling it over since you said that this was the question we were going to ask us. Yeah, the question you were going to ask us. I've decided it's actually the guy who sings the Monster Mash. It's the narrator of that story. Because he was working in the lab late one night and then he ended up having a great time with all those monsters, and I think that's lovely.
That
An
is
inspiration
beautiful.
to us all.
It's amazing. Maddy.
I'm gonna have to go very classic and say vampires, but if you are asking me to be very specific, I will say Spike from Buffy, problematic fave.
Spike.
Spike.
And Michelle.
I'm going to have to go with sirens. I love those naughty, spooky gals. I love the way that everyone blamed them for crashing their boats when they were just having a sing-song. It's not your fault you came towards it.
And Lou.
Definitely super experienced with monsters and Halloween and horror things. Did write an undead book. So let's go with ghosts.
Ooh.
They're fun to write about because they can have all kinds of stuff that's going on in their current unlife and their
And their
all kinds
past
of
life.
stuff. Yeah, and it's all mingling and what's gonna happen, and yeah, they're good fun.
Beautiful. Okay, so what we've done starting this is we are actually going to spend tonight in Miss Fritton's camp for Wayward Girls. So our lovely players here have made a selection of Wayward Girls and Wayward staff members for this beautiful camp. And unfortunately, the movie they're in is not actually a happy one.
No.
Oh, sorry, the music just came in and gave me an utter fright. I was not expecting it. I was just like, oh, a campsite. And
It's too atmospheric.
It's too atmospheric. We're too good at this. So now, obviously, the thing about horror is the characters don't really know what story they're in. But we do. So I'm actually going to ask all of our lovely players to look away for just a hot minute while I reveal, thank you, Lou, are you looking away?
I'm looking at the non-Twitch channel,
Great.
so I can't see any chat.
While I reveal the name of tonight's movie, which I'm hoping you can see. Oh, it's backwards. I didn't think about this. Can everybody figure that out? Listen. Oh, it's not backwards on stream. Hey, yeah, perfect. Okay,
Yay.
You may uncover your eyes. Oh, I can. Yeah, it came out great. Perfect. So, everybody, you know what's happening, but our characters don't. So, I'm gonna ask each of you to describe the beautiful characters you built for tonight's game. Our Wayward Girls and Wayward Staff, starting with Lou, please.
Hello. So, sat around this proverbial campfire, or whatever it is that we're doing on this activity-filled day, we can see a hardcore outdoors woman, Fern. She goes camping with her dad and her 4 brothers every weekend. She's always got a pocket knife and half a dozen carabiners. She is ready for anything. Nearby, there is the cash-strapped and desperate Queen Bee, Ginevra, or Ginny. Her family has the largest business in town, and she's just been going to camp forever, but the business is going under. And so she's getting wilder and wilder new trends to disguise the fact that she's increasingly poor. And also sort of hanging around, trying not to hover, but definitely hovering, is the unwilling nominated first aider, Mr. Norman. And I've written, if you ask him for an ice pack, you'll get a chilly reception.
Wop, wop, wah. Fab. Michelle.
So yes, we will also find at this camp Lillian. She's captain of the netball team. She's captain of the cricket team. Then she got suspended for that because she kept wailing on people with the bat. She is channeling all of her anger and fury and teenage rage at the world into competitive sports. And somewhere playing around amongst the trees, looking for fairies, we'll find Jane. Most of her peers have grown out of the extremely popular YA series about fairies. They all got hooked on age 12, but Jane, she still believes there could be fairies out there. They're somewhere. They could be there. And yeah, I think as she's skipping around, we'll see Baz, one of the camp counselors, chilling in the grass, trying to find fun shapes in the clouds. He's just a bit too chill, Baz. Everyone thinks he might be smoking something he shouldn't be smoking around these kids, but he's not. He's just like that. He's a chill dude. Just a chill dude.
Fab. And Laura.
Fabulous. So first of all, around the campfire, probably tying a friendship and trying to get her to tell her all of her secrets is amateur astrologer Betty. Then probably over by I reckon there's stables at this camp. I think over by the horses.
For sure.
We've got Claudia. She's holding a box of matches. She's a pyromaniac. She likes to start fires. And I think she's probably intently whispering to one of the horses about how they've got to be the best. They're going to be the absolute best. They're perfectionists. We don't want any sloppy horses in this camp, whilst eyeing all the other campers suspiciously. And then nobody's seen her yet, but kind of probably just lurking behind a tree. We've got Jump Scare Angie. I believe she's the camp janitor. And she always pops up when you least expect her to. And she's got a conspiracy theory about everything.
Mm-hmm. And finally, Maddy.
Yes, so we have got teacher's pet Priscilla, who despite being at a camp where outdoor wear is encouraged, is still in a pristine school uniform. She is obsessed with getting good grades and getting approval from any adult in the vicinity, and has ambitions to be a politician, so is channeling that into a aggressive head girl campaign. There is also Nyx, who is a gorilla with graffiti, as in warfare, not as in ape, and enjoys leaving little tags all over the place and confusing the staff, trying to cover their tracks. And one of the staff members here is also Ferdinand, who wanted to be a chef in a professional, possibly Michelin star restaurant, but through a series of fatal mistakes, ended up as a cook at a Wayward Girls camp. So decides to take out his frustration on the children here instead of channeling it into more healthy pursuits.
Thank you very much. So obviously we have a large cast of characters, so it's we shall get to killing very shortly. We're about to do what is our setting the scene. So we're gonna pick a character, and anyone can pick any character to play. So let me start us off. We open our movie on a lake. It's a beautiful lake. There's a slight swaying of trees. Off in the distance, we can see a little campfire flickering. And on the lake, there is just the smallest ripple. Just a small ripple. And a small ripple. And then we see a young man rowing a little rowboat, sort of happily pottering about in the lake. Another ripple. The boat suddenly tips a little, and then tips a little the other way. And we cut to the main title as the boat disappears into the water. And we open on the camp for Wayward Girls. And we are actually in bunk 5, which has got some of our favourite girls in it. Who is in bunk 5? Cabin 5 today.
Jane's definitely there. She's cutting out little paper fairy wings.
Fabulous.
I think Claudia's there.
Yep, I think Claudia's there as well.
Fern's probably there.
Fern and Maddy.
I'm going to say Nyx is there.
Great. So, you are in your beautiful little cabin. Unfortunately, there has been a prank overnight. Somebody has really trashed the place. So all of your pillows have been emptied of their feathers. It's everywhere, and inspection is very short to be coming. What would you like to do?
So it will be fine. Once I've stuck the feathers onto the wings I'm making, it will be pretty and it will make a lovely decoration and nobody is going to think we've done anything naughty.
Respectfully, I don't think anyone's actually going to want it to be pretty. We want it to be functional. We want the feathers back in the pillows. I think this is sabotage, to be honest. I think somebody's probably jealous of my horse riding skills and has come in here and made a mess. Who was it?
Well, that's really sad.
Was it you, Jane?
Me? Well, no. I mean, No, I think it's nice that you ride horses. I'm hoping to one day have like a flying horse, like a Pegasus-y horse. If that happens, will you teach me how to ride?
I can try, but you won't be as good as me.
What are Fern and Nyx
doing? There's no such thing as a Pegasus.
If they can't get in the door, they can't inspect. So let's shove the padlock on, get behind the curtains or under the duvets, pretend we're not here, and they'll just move on to someone else's cabin. Not a problem.
So what is Fern doing to enact this at this time?
Fern is, I'm assuming the cabins probably don't have locks because children probably wouldn't be able to lock themselves in their cabins.
Yeah, I think also
so
Wayward
she's
Girls are not
probably-
allowed to have locked doors.
Yes, so I think she's probably basically making a small pull chain for the door with a series of carabiners to try and block access to the cabin door.
I mean, the other way we could deal with this, of course, is by lighting a nice cleansing fire.
Whoa.
I mean, we'd
With
leave
us in
first,
here?
obviously. No.
Where are we
I
going to
think
sleep
that's
tonight?
already a campfire. I don't think we need 2 campfires.
And Nyx, what is Nyx doing in this situation?
Nyx is just kind of lounging on her bed. Her attitude is that what can the adults really do to them? Like put them in detention or like confiscate something. Like they can't hurt her. She's not scared.
Great. You hear the ba ba da ba. There's some poor girl who's been lumbered with a cornet, whose job it is to announce the oncoming inspection. The inspection will be happening very shortly, so you've got maybe a minute or two before someone turns up at the door to perceive you. What would you like to do?
Fern is furiously
absolutely.
opening carabiners,
Fabulous.
trying to link them, putting them across, possibly pinning them in place with nails or something, anything else that she can find.
Excellent.
I think Claudia's trying to help with that as well.
Great.
I think she appreciates that help.
You hear a set of footsteps coming to the door, and the first knock begins. Knock, knock, and then you feel like there's almost like a shudder underneath you. Like the floor seems to move a bit strangely. And then you hear the sound of something breaking a couple of cabins down, and the footsteps run away, and you've got away with it this time. You have been diverted and not been in trouble. So I think in this particular situation, I think that Claudia and Fern are probably friends.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, I think that Fern trusts Claudia to help her get shit done.
Yeah, I think Claudia appreciates the clearly sensible head on Fern's shoulders. Yeah,
I think that Claudia and Jane probably a negative one. I think that's probably they're probably not friends.
I don't think their energies might mesh well.
No.
Say it.
I don't
Life
think so
priorities,
either.
somewhat.
Excellent. And I don't think Nick's had any strong feelings about another character in that. Any other relationships you think that we should add? No? Fabulous. So we will move on. It is now time for an activity. And in this case, it is obviously high wire course.
Oh,
Excellent.
So we've got 4 of our characters are running about doing a high wire course. Which character would you like to be? Starting with Michelle?
I think that if it's high wire course time, then the first aider has definitely been forced to be in attendance.
Thank you.
So I think Mr. Mormon is standing
Stunning.
off to the side, just waiting for something to go wrong.
Fab. Maddie?
I think it would be amusing to put them more in this situation, so I'm going to say Priscilla is there.
Damn it.
Thank you kindly. Lou, next choice.
Well, I was going to have Priscilla, but now I'm not.
Oh, no.
I'm going to have... Do you know what?
Okay, I believe we're back. Okay.
We're just having a musical interlude, it's fine.
Okay, fab.
She did that for the rest of the stream.
All
That
right.
was great.
It's having a beautiful Wii music interlude. Perfect. So,
cultural
we are doing
touchstone.
high wire courses. I believe, in fact, that Lillian and Priscilla were fighting for dominance here.
Yeah,
A
I
snitch
think
versus competitive sportswoman.
Lillian's trying to elbow her way to the front. It's like, I'll be faster and more efficient than you.
Well, I may not have the experience in more sporty pursuits, but I
clearly.
have the iron will that will triumph this day.
There's
Alright,
a
go ahead
rock
then.
wall. There's a rock
Like,
wall
see you try.
that is connected to it's one of the ways of getting up to the high wire, and Betty has clipped her harness into the rope that's hanging off the rope, and it's just put her flat feet against the wall and is just swinging.
Oh, really good.
And she's just kind of doing that kind of sat down position that you can do when you're rock climbing, and she's just looking up at the skies and trying to spot some stars.
That is perfect. Unfortunately, as you're swinging there, we can see as the audience, as the moviegoer, that at the top, one of the ropes is a little bit frayed.
Oh no.
So as you swing, there's this sort of creak, 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 creak. And then there's just a light snap. And you only fall maybe like 30 centimeters. It's nothing. It's not harmful at all. It gives you a bit of a fright. But obviously Mr.
Snaps her
Norman...
reverie.
Yes.
Did I or did I not say don't fall down? These girls are so wayward.
Betty, look, you're doing it wrong. If you just let me do it, I'm gonna be the best at this. If you just let me do it, I can just...
Yes, it's fine.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm hoping we're back. Let's see how we did. Oh,
yeah.
hey, there we go.
Hey.
Oh, jeez. Okay, let's give people a moment to come in.
Yeah.
So, how are we feeling? Is everybody having fun? What's everybody's do people have a favorite like monster movie? Probably not, Lou, but I will start with literally anyone else.
Monster movie.
We
Like
saw
with an
a
actual
really
monster
good
in it.
just like for me it's Creature from the Black Lagoon is my favorite. I think that's great.
I've seen that reference in a lot of Drag Race runways. That helps.
Yeah.
It's just webbed fish man, and he's like, I love you, but I'm a webbed fish man, and you're a beautiful woman who lives on a ship. It's never going to work between us. We saw a great Mothman today, Maddy and I.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw the Mothman.
Incredible.
Yeah, light up eyes, big, massive things. It was beautiful. Okay,
Mothman.
everybody. Yeah, truly a gay icon.
So great.
So, welcome back, everybody. Glad to have you back with us.
Yay.
Tech gremlins have been defeated. Woo! However, they are not the only monsters that we'll be dealing with this evening. So, we are actually going now away from our high wire course, because clearly that was the problem. And we are heading to what is actually, I think, kind of almost a disciplinary meeting. So I think there is some explanation, going on, because one of our campers, Ginny, is having a bit of a difficult time with her parents were due to pick her up, but they're not going to be picking her up as soon as they thought they were. So we've got our three staff. So who would like to play Councillor Baz?
I'll be Baz.
Nice. Who would like to be failed Chef Ferdinand?
I'll do it.
Great. Who would like to be Jump Scare Angie?
I'll give it a go.
And that leaves Queen Bee Jenny for you. Are you happy to do that, Lou?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Fab. So I think that I would like Councillor Baz to start us off, trying to explain that that Mum and Dad are actually not coming to pick you up today.
Now, listen, Jenny, listen. It's all gonna be fine. Sometimes your parents, they're there for you. Sometimes you've got to be there for yourself. You've got to be there for yourself. And I think you're a strong individual. And I think today you can be there for yourself. Inspiring.
What are you talking about?
Oh, well, yeah, so, your parents, the parental figures, guardians in your life, they were going to be here, and maybe in a metaphysical sense still are, but in a more real sense are not.
This makes it
Today.
sound like her parents are dead. Just so we're clear. Just like that is definitely the...
Baz doesn't know this.
Yeah.
Well, if they can't come, why don't they just send round Wilkins, our driver? He's always available. He comes whenever Mummy says to come.
I thought Wilkins was your dog.
No, he's our driver.
Oh, well, you said he was very obedient, and sometimes you give him treats.
Oh,
they
yes,
didn't...
he loves a Cadbury's cream egg. I give it to him sometimes on the weekends.
I did think not great for dogs. That makes sense. Yeah.
So
Respectfully, why am I in this meeting right now? I'm a chef. I don't belong here. I'm better than this.
Well, I suppose if I'm not being picked up in an expedient manner, then I'll be staying for lunch.
I don't care about you or your problems. I'm going back to the kitchen.
Harsh.
Ferdinand, man, you know we've got to be giving them the morale support. It's in Norman's binder.
I didn't
We're
sign up.
band together.
I didn't sign up for morale and support. I just came here to cook.
I think now the camera swings to the corner and we see a dark shadow, in which jump scare Angie sort of steps out. What does jump scare Angie add to this scene?
Yes, jump scare Angie has been crouching in a corner, just possibly like pretty much in view, but she's convinced that she's hidden exceptionally well.
Oh,
and
I didn't see you
she suddenly leaps forward and goes, "Yes, we must provide support for our charges."
I knew you there all along. I'm really.
No, you didn't.
It was. Ferdinand's a dick.
Angie, I'm glad you're on my side in this and all things. My brother, my sister, my sibling, my friend, my compadre.
Ferdinand angrily peeling a carrot during this conversation, just roll in his eyes.
I'm honestly very glad to hear you say that, because I think people find me a bit off-putting.
Oh, you give me the
Oh,
creeps.
no, you're not creepy at all. No one even says that about you ever. That's definitely not something that's written on the girls' cabin wall.
Jenny, that's really good of you to be supportive. I'm really glad that you're being here for yourself today.
I think Ginny is at this point. The door is open for Ginny to leave with the understanding that her parents are not coming. And it's after Ginny steps outside that the three of you staff are left in here. Obviously, lunch is coming up very soon. Ferdinand's got places to be. But you notice that there's a smell in here that wasn't there before, like a sort of dampness, almost.
Have you farted, Angie?
I mean, yes, but I can smell something else as well, and that's definitely not one of my excretions.
Angie, have you been experimenting with homemade explosive devices again? We talked about this.
Oh no, don't worry. That's in the past. I am more into more visual explosives, such as fireworks. I'm not trying to destroy anything. I'm trying to create.
Great. As you say this, we hear a sort of rumbling coming from far off, and you hear an explosion from one of the nearby toilets. You hope that it's a blasting cap put in by some miscreant, but you're not sure, so you have to run off and complete your task for the day. So in that scene, I feel like Ferdinand didn't have a lot of bonds, if I'm honest. I feel like a lot of them were negative for Ferdinand.
Yeah, they're all pretty negative,
Ferdinand
weren't they?
hates everyone. And
Yeah,
everyone
yeah,
hates
okay.
Ferdinand.
Yeah.
Why did they employ him? Literally no other chefs with a DBS check and ability to cut vegetables.
I don't think this is the kind of camp where they do a DBS, like they don't ask for a DBS check at a camp like this.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
Oh dear.
They're just like, you have only non-violent criminal convictions? She'll be right.
Close enough.
Great. And I feel like, Baz, your interactions were pretty positive with pretty much everyone.
Yeah, he's just a chill dude, you know?
It's just a chill guy. Ginny, any positive or negative relationships out of that? Just negative for Ferdinand, maybe.
Negative for the Ferdinand. I mean, I think she probably feels like she's definitely got sway with Baz.
Yeah, for sure.
Like she's probably thinking about how she can kind of manipulate that relationship.
And I feel like
possibly screwing with Baz, like thinking about.
Okay.
I wonder if I can use that relationship and how he thinks that I'm owning myself to have advantage.
Great, love that. So yes, screwing with is one of the options for relationships, so they can be positive, negative, or screwing with, which is either. Who knows? Fab. And I feel like you and Jumpscare Angie are friends, Baz.
Yeah, I think they get on.
Yeah.
Discussed a couple of weirdos being weird.
Fabulous. Okay, so yeah, it is now. I feel like it's lunchtime. Okay, so this is in the large mess tent. There's a little bit of unsettling chatter now.
Ooh.
People are saying that one of the cabins has it's suffered some sort of structural damage or something, and it started collapsing. So so some of the girls have actually been turfed out of their cabin and are having to share. So they're having to bunk down on the floor of another girl's cabin, and it's real drama. Who is in this scene, guys?
I think Fern is here.
Yeah, I think Fern is here. Lou.
I think Priscilla is there.
Yeah, great. Maddie.
I'm gonna say Jane.
Jane is there. Fabulous.
And I'll say Ginny's there.
Great. I will be playing Ferdinand because great. Ferdinand is in the background menacingly peeling a carrot for this scene. That's his entire contribution. You are all there with your metal trays and your strange plastic cutlery, with what looks like sludges of various colors. Like it's not entirely clear what the foodstuffs you're being served are. Can I grab? Would you like to start, Laura?
Sure. I thought you were meant to be a gourmet chef, Ferdinand.
Ferdinand spits in your food over the counter and then returns to peeling his carrot and refuses to make eye contact with you.
I'm having a really bad day.
Oh no, are you all right?
First of all, I thought I was gonna get to go home today. And now he's just spitting my food. And also I have to share a bunk with some other girls who I don't even know. Like, they're not even, like, what if they're not, like, you know, like, pretty and like me? Like,
If you like, Ginny, you can use my bunk. I'm not actually part of the bunk that the cabin that's back. I volunteered to share so that someone else that needed it more than me could take my bunk.
oh, if you could, that would be, you are a lifesaver.
Don't worry. Just
you're my new
make sure
best
Counselor
friend
Baz
here.
knows.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome. Just, you know, when you're moving in, just make sure that you let Councillor Baz know that it's that you're having my bunk and that I let you in. That was entirely
I mean, I don't really answer to anyone. I'll sort of just do what I want and it'll be fine. That's how I'm used to doing things. But
Cool.
I have a couple of kind of wild camping bivouacs that I brought with me. I'm sure that, you know, if anyone was really struggling, we could just find a spot in the woods with a nice clearing. You know, get that fire girl to burn any loose stuff that was lying around, and then we're good for the night. I think she's been trying to cut the stale piece of bread with the plastic knife.
Yes.
And she just throws it away. She pulls out just from somewhere an enormous hunting knife and is
The
sawing
big
away. as
Bowie
she
knife.
talks. Yeah.
I feel like Fern is also maybe has brought her own food to this particular experience. What has Fern brought?
She's got like some of those freeze-dried ration packs that you get from army surplus stores. She's got dehydration salts that she's adding to the kind of mysterious water that's been poured out, and she's got just energy bars galore.
Exceedingly good.
I think she's like, anyone need a boost? Anyone need a protein boost?
I'm all right, thank you. But if we are going to be camping, then perhaps we could go near that mushroom ring that I spotted earlier, and we could keep an eye out for the Fae folk.
Excellent. Foraging is an excellent way to survive in dark, dangerous conditions like the ones here. And she points at her own plate. I think mushrooms are a great idea. Yes.
I'm not sure we should disturb the ring. That might anger the fairies.
All right, we'll speak to them politely.
Have you
I
let
don't
an
care who I
appropriate
anger.
adult
I just
know?
need some decent food.
Have you let an appropriate adult know that you've brought your own food? What if people have allergies?
You don't have to eat it, Priscilla. More for me. I'm allergic
Does Priscilla
to
have
nuts.
allergies?
Yeah, Priscilla definitely has allergies.
Yeah. Allergies, asthma
but she's saying
puffer.
people might have allergies. Yeah, she's probably got like a death lead lactose allergy or something.
Yes.
I think Fern's going to pull out like a peanut butter bar and open it, hopefully, and kind of waft peanutty smell in that direction and just see.
And Priscilla's just, like leaning over and is like, "Oh, it's okay. It's not like covered in yogurt or something. It's fine." Not like she can like relax and pretend she's totally fine with it.
Fabulous. So I think in that little scene that we did there, I think that Fern and Priscilla maybe a slightly negative relationship.
I think so.
I think it's maybe a little bit competitive. Though positive for Priscilla and Ginny actually, based
Yeah.
on the bed experience.
Yeah.
Or maybe screwing with. Which would you prefer?
I think
Ginny.
screwing with.
Yeah, I think so too. Okay, fabulous. And Jane, I think you and Fern actually had a pretty okay relationship. I think you agreed to talk to the fairies politely. I was quite impressed.
Yeah.
Good work.
Compromise.
Any other relationships you feel I haven't pulled up on?
I
mean,
young ladies.
I think Ginny appreciated that Fern was able to help her get food, but I don't know if there's a relationship beyond that. I think it's just a purely transactional.
Okay.
Yeah, I
that's
think
maybe
they've clocked each other. It might be a screwing with. It might be a like, what's her deal?
Yeah.
can I use this?
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Relationships can change as well, so like it could always be something for now and then potential to change later.
Yeah, I think it may be like we need each other for survival. Well, Ginny needs Fern. I don't know if Fern needs Ginny.
She does.
Okay, so the afternoon's activity is actually it is a paddling. So it's kayaking down a river. So but it's like a big 4-man canoe, Canadian canoe. Who is in this canoe?
I want Jane to be in the canoe.
You would like Jane to be in the canoe. Yes, please.
I'd like Lillian to be in the canoe.
Thank you very much.
I'd like Claudia in the canoe.
Yep. Maddy, who would you like to be in the canoe?
I'll say Nyx is in the canoe.
Fab. So, having done canoeing, there is the interesting experience of taking quite a leisurely time down a river. You know, you've got one of you in the front has to steer. The people in the back are providing the power. Who's providing the steering? Who's taken that job and who's providing the power, do you think?
I think Claudia's steering.
Okay.
Yeah, for better or for worse.
Good.
I think Lillian desperately wanted to steer, but then she conceded that she's definitely the most powerful, and
She's
said,
the most
definitely.
powerful.
That's what should definitely contribute to the power thing, and she was kind of okay with that as long as she's at the front of the power.
Good.
Or the back if that's the most powerful position.
Yes, obviously. And Jane, is Jane paddling at all?
Well, Jane's meant to be helping to provide power, but I think she's more just like trailing her fingers in the water, kind of leaning over the edge of the boat, trying to see if she can spot a mermaid.
Yes, absolutely. And Nyx, is Nyx paddling?
Nyx is trying to pantomime paddling, but while also carving some kind of obscenity into the side of the canoe.
Yes, I love that. Fabulous. It's at this point that the river starts to diverge, and you can see ahead of you there is a rock, and it's straight in the middle of the river. So you're going to have to choose to paddle left or right, and you have to paddle hard and fast. So paddle hard and fast.
Are we in a front facing or a back facing?
Front facing.
It's paddling, right? So yeah, we're front facing.
Yeah. It's like
Okay,
little T-shaped
Yes.
beasties.
In that case, Lillian is definitely second behind Claudia and can't see how much the Jane and Nyx are slacking off behind.
Okay,
Like,
good.
So concentrating. The power of 3
Jane's
people.
fully looking out the back of the boat, like just like.
Great. Claudia, you can see this hazard ahead. How would you like to let people know what's going on?
All right. Trot on, girls! Trot on! And she'll kind of sort of point to, she'll arbitrarily pick the left.
Mm-hmm.
She hasn't been looking too closely because she's been trying to analyze how much of the canoe is wet and how much would still burn well if needed. She'll say, yeah, the left side's wetter. It's already no use to me. We'll go left. And she'll kind of just point and click her tongue to their attention and expect that should be fine.
Yeah, does Lillian take this instruction?
What's so good about the left? Like, but you've got to tell me quickly because, like, once this train's going, it's not going to stop. Why are we going left?
Just, vibes, I guess. Vibes?
Vibes, maybe?
Will it get us the fastest?
Yes, that's the left is fastest, yeah.
There is s'more making tonight, and we want to make sure they're getting the marshmallows before there's any left out, because I am not having the bag of vegan ones that they keep over for people that have enough.
They're making s'more. Do we get to build our own fires to make our own s'mores? Is that?
If
should definitely
we get
pick
back
the fastest
fast
route.
enough.
Yes, okay, left is definitely faster. Let's go. Come on.
I think
Come
I
on,
saw
gallop.
some fairies over to the left as well.
How is Nyx taking this? The paddling is not going quite as fast. It's almost like there's a load of dead weight in the back. It's providing no power at all. And the rock is coming up fast, and you realize maybe you don't have quite enough power to actually get round it into the slipstream, and maybe you're going to either graze it or just snap straight in half.
I think, yeah, there are 2 wolves inside of Nyx. Part of one wolf wants to see the world burn and wants to see what would happen if the canoe broke and they all fell into the water. And another is like, well, actually, a s'more sounds kind of nice. But she doesn't want to seem like she cares about anything. But so she's just going to very subtly increase power, but trying to look as nonchalant as possible, even though no one is looking at her and no one cares.
I like that that's one of Nyx's wolves, whereas both of the wolves in Claudia once didn't like them.
Yeah, I think Claudia, now motivated by the promise of delicious s'mores and proximity to fire, is going to notice the lack of input at the back of the boat and say, "Wow, what was that sparkly, shiny-looking fishtail lady I just saw over there to the left?"
Oh my goodness, where?
If only we were paddling more left, I feel like we'd know. We'd be able to get close to it, you know?
Yeah, Jane sort of amps it up, puts a little bit more effort in.
Anytime that
daydreaming.
anytime that either Jane or Nyx slow down, Lillian just paddles slightly too hard and splashes them with a paddle.
Oh, very good. Okay. So you managed to make it round without completely destroying the boat, but you do tear like a nice big rip in the side. There's a big long scratch etched in the side, and you get dunked out basically into a nice bit of stream. No damage to self. And it's when you're dragging the canoe back up off the water that you notice these sort of like weird claw marks in the dirt. It's almost like it's almost like there's like a burrow with claw marks coming up the beach.
We need to be
sick.
really careful because I think there might be a dragon round here.
I'm pretty sure that it must be a wolf. I mean, come on.
No,
Good.
it's more likely to be a dragon, I think, because they like to live near water.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure if we don't get back soon, we're gonna get the rubbish marshmallows. Let's go, 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 go.
All right. I'm gonna take around where it's broken. I think that Claudia just snaps off a few pieces of wood, just kind of stores them down the trouser leg, and is like, if there's a wolf that could really spook the horses, we should probably tell someone that there's like a wolf that might spook the horses.
And if it's a
They're really
dragon, it would
beautiful
spook the
horses.
horses even more, I think.
Yes, you are right. Either way, we don't want sloppy horses around here. We
Because
need
it could
beautiful,
carry a
beautiful,
horse away in its
horses.
claws.
I don't
joke
like
about that.
Yeah, you're
sorry.
right. We should get back. We should get
It
back
wasn't a
and do all
joke.
that stuff that you're saying. Go.
I think one of your wood fragments has something. No, it's fine. I don't care. It's fine.
I would like to X-card the use of sloppy horses, Michelle. Good heavens, what's wrong with you?
That concept.
But you let it continue. Excellent. I feel like Jane and Lillian, what's the vibe there? I think that might be a screwing with, guys. It feels like it's not really positive, it's not really negative, but there's definitely something going on there.
Yeah.
We cool with that?
Jane thinks everyone's a friend. Is the vibe, but
What do you think, Lillian?
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I think Lillian is happy to kind of go with any bullshit as long as it kind of meets her end goals of being the best and the fastest and getting the good stuff. So if that is something that she can do, then she's happy to go with that.
Fabulous. And Claudia, what do you think, how do you feel about these other miscreants?
I think Claudia respects Lillian's commitment to her goals of acquiring s'mores.
Fair?
They kind of work together there all right in the end. I'm not sure how she feels about Jane or Nyx. She's a little bit like despairing of Jane, I think. It's like this weirdo. Maybe that's a screwing with, I'm not sure.
yeah. Jane
Yeah, I
thinks
think
they're
so.
besties.
Obviously. Obviously. Fab. Okay. So, I think it is at this
Jane.
point. Is at this point.
Protect
we
Jane.
protect sweet Jane. Sweet Jane.
Sweet Jane.
It's at this point we actually head to the aforementioned s'mores. So we're stop saying sloppy horses in the chat. God damn you.
I am a former equestrian camp counselor and I am offended by these sloppy horses.
These horses need to tighten up their game.
We cannot have any sloppy horses around this joint, okay?
Dressage in the gutter.
Sloppy horses sounds like a street name for a drug. Messy equines I also like. Thank you very much. So I'm adding that to liminal from now on. So we go to the aforementioned campsite. So we're around the campfire. I believe probably Claudia's probably there, essentially trying to set everything on fire. In fact, it's almost like we're back at the top of this particular stream with all other characters hanging out around the campsite. And around this campfire, there's someone is definitely trying to start a sing-along. I think it's probably Baz. I feel like it's very kumbaya. I feel like it's not getting a lot of ground. I feel like Betty and Jane are maybe really, just enjoying the fire, the sort of primal, starlit night, and s'mores are slowly being handed out. Would someone like to pick a character to play, and tell us a little bit of a spooky story? Just a couple of lines would be lovely.
I'm gonna be jump scare Angie.
Thank you. Perfect.
She's partially obscured as she's telling this scary story, and she said, and when they woke up, they didn't have a head anymore.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
True story.
True
Be
story.
vigilant.
Be vigilant. Thank you.
And Priscilla's like, but if they didn't have a head, how could they wake up?
if you'd been listening the whole time,
then you would know.
You'd know. I explained it. Oh, okay, I'm just going to have to start again, clearly. So,
Yes, I'll be taking notes.
it was a dark and stormy night.
Great. I think at that point we cut to the fell chef Ferdinand, who's there sharpening a knife, obviously. And he's like, "No, you think you know what you're talking about? You didn't hear the one about the shark man, half shark, half man, all shark man. He fucking bit people to pieces. It was crazy." And everyone's like, "Okay." And he's like, "And he'd eat every one of you because I hate you. I'm not playing. Listen, this is my best attempt." Would someone else like to pick up another character and give me a couple of lines of a scary story that is being told?
Yeah, I think Nyx is like using one of the sticks the marshmallows want to draw in the dirt. And when she turned around in the car, hook hand car man!
Man door! Thank you, very
She was a
good.
big hook in the ground.
It's at that point that you see actually it's Mr. Norman standing in the dark, and he says, that's nothing. This very camp. You know what happened here, right? And he looks at a set of terrified faces, or bored faces, certainly in some situations, petulant faces in others. He says, "Well, you know, there was the big worm here before." And I think everyone's like, "Okay." It's like, no. 50 years ago. Back when I was here, and I was here as a camper, not as a first aider, which I'm doing reluctantly against my will. One of the cabins was swallowed entirely whole by a giant worm. And those kids, they were never seen again.
There is actually a theory that they dug themselves underground, and actually they're still living down there. I've researched it quite extensively online. There's a lot of misinformation surrounding this entire case. Interesting that you were here, though.
Yeah, I'll never forget it. And he looks off wistfully into the distance. It's at that point that you hear a rumbling under the ground, and you hear sort of a shifting and a jumping, and there's something definitely happening. There's something definitely changing. Are you okay? And you actually see Mr. Norman. He starts to walk away into the dark. And the ground sort of shifts beneath him. And you think that he's maybe missed a step? Like he's tripped over a stone or something? And then before you know it, his left leg is entirely in the dirt. Almost like up to his hips, while his right one is sort of bent out at an angle.
Ooh.
And he lets out a strange yelp in the dark, and you all sort of turn to look. And it's that when he sort of turns back to look at you, his eyes wide, and he says, "He's come for me. The Worm King." And he disappears into the dirt with a scream as he is swallowed and taken away by the Worm King. And Mr. Norman is dead.
Oh,
The screaming begins immediately. There is screaming from all the girls, and everybody runs off into the dark. John, can you kill Mr. Norman for me? Thank you very much. Exceedingly good.
Stunning.
Mr. Norman is now dead, which is a terrible, terrible shame. So now we've had our first blood and everybody is suitably freaked out. We're going to take a 10-minute break.
Oh.
And then after the break, the real killing begins. Da, 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 da. We're back from the break. And more importantly, the killing, she is beginning. It is now the Night of the Worm King, the titular title of this particular movie. Titular title, definitely allowed to say that. Don't worry about it. So, the title of this movie, The Night of the Worm King, it flashes across the screen in sort of like a chiller font with like a blood splatter. You know, very, very classic. And we come across a set of girls running in the dark while something is chasing them. Who do we find?
Fern, for sure.
Fern, yep.
Yeah, Ginny is stumbling about in her stupid high-heeled shoes she insists on wearing at camp.
Oh, very good, very good.
I think we've got Betty.
Yes, for sure.
And I'll say Claudia.
Great. You are running in the dark. You're darting between trees. You're not entirely sure where you're going at this point. When you kind of spot, it's like an outpost. It's like a sort of platform, and behind you, you can hear this thundering rustling, and you can see the ground sort of starting to hump in places as something undulates just underneath the surface. Tell me what's happening.
Fern pulled a knife out of her boot.
Obviously, absolutely.
And a second knife out of her other boot.
She's running with 2 knives. Noted.
Ginny is she's just babbling. My parents were supposed to come today and they didn't come, and if I survive this, I'm going to sue them. Can you sue your own parents? I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna hire the best lawyer that my daddy's money can buy so I can sue daddy.
I read in your horoscope that you were, your family was actually losing a lot of money at the moment.
Yeah, probably because you saw the future when I sue them, and I win, and they lose all their money because it goes to me.
Okay.
I was absolutely sure that she was going to say, I read you in your horoscope that you were going to die today.
Well, I was actually going to say, I think if everyone shows me their palms, I can do some palm reading to find out which of us we need to sacrifice to this giant worm.
I think we should just gallop right on out of here. Quickly!
I think
Okay,
at
but
this
fate
point,
always catches up with you in the end.
as Betty says that, from underneath her, there's a bursting through the earth. Now, I think Betty only has 1 screen presence. So the way that this works is, this is taking the hat off for a second. The way that the game works is the more character relationships that you build in the first couple of scenes, the better your chance of survival. So what's going to happen is I'm going to turn a card over. These have been shuffled. I'm going to turn a card over for the monster.
Ooh.
Okay. So this is quite good. So what we know is bloody beats black and stabby beats round. So clubs is quite low. And Betty, are you ready? We're going to flip your one
I'm
card.
so ready.
And tell me how Betty survives this worm attack.
So, sorry, how is the worm attacking right now? Is it coming
From underneath. Yes.
So I think Betty, although, like, obviously she doesn't fully buy into the whole astrology side of things, she just uses it to, like, form relationships with people. I think she can kind of sense something under her feet. And so I think she just, like, grabs a tree branch and, like, hoists herself up into a tree to avoid the worm when it comes up.
Thank you. So you are just missed by a whiff as this creature bursts through the earth. And I think as you're running, it's Ginny. I think this is now the time where we have the Mr. Ghostface. I've tripped and hurt my ankle. I think that is who the monster is attacking next. What are you doing when the ground beneath you starts to shudder?
I think she's startled by it busting out and nearly catching Betty, and she kind of tries to back away, but the heel on one of her shoes has snapped several times and been glued together back again, so she doesn't have to get rid of her fanciest shoes. So that broken part just snaps one more time, and she falls backwards onto her bum.
Oh no!
No. Now your screen presence is quite high, so you've got 5 chances to beat. And again, it's a very low card for the monster.
That's what we want to see.
You won't even need it.
Come on,
How does Ginny get away?
I think that she grabs the other shoe and she wields it, and she's just swinging. She's swinging that high heel as she scampers backwards on her bum.
Great. The worm takes a bash to its not face, where it has not eyes but definitely mouth. There's definitely mouth. It's sort of a circular, rotating sort of teeth situation, and it disappears back into the earth. It's at that point you come across your outpost. Who's going up? What's happening now as you reach this illusion of safety?
I think
Fern says, sorry.
Oh no, you
Go Fern.
I was gonna say, Fern says, yeah, that's a good idea, Betty. Everybody into the trees. And starts to climb. Fern doesn't wait for anyone to respond and starts to climb the nearest tree.
Fab.
I think Betty, from her vantage point in the tree, is trying to reach her hands down to help the other girls up into the same tree.
Fern is using the knives, by the way. As,
very good.
Stunning.
Claudia is convinced that her powerful horse riding thighs will get her up the tree.
You said my wake word, powerful horse riding thighs.
Naomi is activated.
I think that is actually you are. The problem with tree climbing and thighs is thighs are not very easy to climb a tree with. Like, it's quite a lot of arm strength or calf strength. And obviously a lot of your strength is really in the thigh situation, as it were. Again, you've quite a high screen presence, so we'll see if I can kill you or not. We shall see. I am the monster. I'm still drawing very badly. And you are drawing... Oh, there's a Joker in this deck. Well, there you go. Oh, okay. Stabby beats round, so you're still beating me. You're still beating me. Okay? So as you're climbing this tree and you start to hear... you don't get up very far when you hear a slithering beneath you. How do you stop this worm that's slithering itself around the tree up towards you?
I think that Claudia takes a riding crop out of her jacket, her barber jacket.
Yes, obviously. It couldn't be anything else.
And just gives the worm a hearty thwack to discourage it from coming any further.
Great. It makes a sort of mewling sound. It screeches out into the dark, and you can kind of hear something else screaming back. And you're like, is that a person? Is that a baby? Is that a fox? But you're not sure, but there's definitely something else screaming in the night at this time.
Is it his worm bride? The worm queen?
My new answer to favourite monster has just been discovered.
The Worm Bride.
Bride.
I would watch that movie. I think it would be great.
Sorry, I made a
Halloween costume.
I made a
sorted.
heteronormative assumption then. He may have a worm groom.
He may have a worm husband. It's fine. It's
Her
fine.
tagline is, "Would you still love me if I was
If I was a
bride?"
worm.
I was a worm bride.
Listen, hey, John, we've not talked about doing merch for Actual Play UK, but I'd really like to suggest, would you still love me if I was a worm bride? As the first... Okay, great. I
We
will
also haven't
buy
talked about
6.
spin-off series that are based on these.
Yeah.
Fab. Now, as I have actually, I've actually targeted all of you now. But that means that
Not Fern.
Not fun.
Fern, I haven't targeted Fern. Good heavens. Okay,
Cute with her
great.
Knives.
Not fun.
Fern is in the tree with her knives. Fern has 4 screen presence. What is Fern doing at this moment? She's up in the tree
Yes,
with her
and
knives.
I think once she's got up to a branch with, that's decent level of
The
sturdiness,
Y-shaped sort of spread, yeah.
it's got a good, it's a good vantage point. I think she's probably in a crouch, one knife still in the tree trunk for grip, and then the other one kind of looking around, just like in front of it, just holding the sort of the handle in front of her face, just peering out and around, trying to get her night vision in.
Okay, I'm gonna draw you guys first, because let's be honest, it's not working the other way around. Pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty bad. I've got a terrible sense of this. That's okay. You feel the tree itself start to shift. And you have a knife in the tree for stability as it sort of starts to sway left and right. And then you look down and you can see the roots starting to appear as it's being dug out from underneath. Obviously, you're out of the monster's reach at this time, and you're all starting to feel this slight movement in the tree branches that you're in, and the trees start to come down.
Oh no.
So I'm gonna try and kill all of you.
Oh.
Don't.
No, don't!
Stop it.
I will sue you.
So I'm gonna draw a card for each of you, and then I'm gonna draw a card for the monster. Any below the monster, they don't make it out. Okay?
Oh, can we not use our relationships?
No, because none of you died already. Okay, listen, it's the scene ends when somebody dies, and there's only so much I can do. The stream has to
Keep
continue.
going.
Yeah.
Fair.
Okay, so I will start with Fern. Are you
Okay.
ready, Fern?
Yeah.
I don't want
I will
Fern to die. She's our only hope.
And then I'm picking Claudia,
Mm-hmm.
and then who else have I got? I've got
Ginny
Betty.
and Betty.
Ginny and Betty. Okay. So, Fern for spades.
Is
Not
that
great.
pointy?
It is
That's
pointy.
stabby.
Lovely.
Got Queen of Clubs.
That's Ginny.
That's
Pointy
Ginny.
and
Pointy,
bloody.
pointy and red.
Mm-hmm.
Betty.
Pointy, not bloody.
Yeah.
Okay, we shall see how the monster does. If this is
Okay.
an ace of clubs, I'm going to be very upset. Okay, ace of spades. Who had the Queen of Clubs?
Oh no!
Oh. Was that fun?
Is that fun?
That's everyone except Ginny. Because Ace is high, right?
Oh,
No,
it
ace
is.
is
Isn't
a
No,
low.
no,
it?
ace is low. Ace is
Okay,
low.
so okay.
It's just fun.
It's just Fern.
Fun.
The
She
most
was our
capable.
only hope. No, Fern is the 4 of spades.
Fern
It's
is the 4 of
Claudia.
spades. We've done terribly. Claudia.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay.
She didn't even get to start a fire.
Oh,
Claudia. Claudia, I think the way that Claudia goes out is that I think that Claudia, you've taken this moment in the tree and you're surrounded by all of this wood and you have some matches. And it's really been quite hard to restrain yourself up until this point. And you're just like, I'll just like a little fire. It'll be a little fire, right?
Might fend the worm off.
And you start to make a torch, and you're like, this is great. 1, it's fire. 2, I'm gonna fight the worm. And it's at that point the tree begins to fall. How do you die in this situation, Claudia? What happens to Claudia at this time?
I think Claudia drops her torch and the torch tumbles into the maw of the waiting worm, but she is just so drawn to the flame like a moth that she just reaches out and falls directly into the mouth of the worm.
Into the mouth of the Worm King. And we hear the what is the last thing that she says as she disappears into the mouth of the worm at this time?
I think she says, "Burn the worm for me!"
Really good. So
We'll
with that,
avenge you, Claudia.
Oh my god, what was her name?
and Claudia is chomped up by the worm, and the worm goes away sated for this time. And we start a new scene. So who is out trying to get into the woodshed to get fighting supplies?
I think Ferdinand would be keen to
Oh,
mount a
for
defense.
sure.
Yeah. Lillian, I think, is there too.
Priscilla is trying to help Ferdinand to get on his good side, even though she's got no chance whatsoever.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have a good side.
I think jump scare Angie's helping.
Great. Okay, so we open this scene and it's a rickety old woodshed that's been locked up and unused because of the waywardness of the girls, could not be trusted with a bandsaw. Who's at the door? Who's the one with their hand on the padlock at this time?
I reckon it's jump scare Angie. I think she's getting in there.
Great, tell me what she's doing.
Well, I think she's got a key, so I think she's unlocking the padlock and getting them in. And going, right. Has anyone fought a giant worm before?
Well, I consider the children at this camp to be akin to worms, so I feel like I have some experience.
Okay, brilliant. What do you suggest for fighting them with?
Sharp objects.
Fabulous. Okay.
That's an excellent idea.
I can go back to the kitchen and grab some knives, but there may be an axe in here that would be helpful.
I think let's not separate the group right now. We're stronger as a unit. So if we all go in there, find the sharpest objects we can, and then we're going to fight these worms, okay?
Yes. We
Great.
can do this.
What are we picking up, team?
I think that Lillian finds some kind of sledgehammer type thing that she's like, this is about the same length as a lacrosse stick.
Yeah, for
I can
sure.
do this. I can do this. It's like lacrosse.
I think Angie's kind of just, in the moment, sharpened the end of her mop into a stabby thing.
Really good, really good.
Priscilla is just kind of trailing Ferdinand around, because assuming that someone here has got to be a responsible adult, and so is trusting that whatever he picks up, she will pick up as well.
Great.
Yeah, Ferdinand is keeping an eye out for an axe.
Yeah, for sure there's an axe in there.
Bless you.
Thank you.
It's a wood cutting axe and a small hatchet, I think, which Priscilla takes. It's at that point that you hear a scream in the woods, and then from nearby there's an answering scream. And
Do
it's
they-
down. Go.
I was just going to say, do they sound like worm screams or people screams?
It's really hard to tell,
Oh,
but you're definitely gonna have to go
how they
investigate.
get you.
So you leave the safety of the woodshed, and who swipes out first? I think it's probably jump scare Angie or Priscilla, maybe.
I think we're going, right. We need to stay vigilant. We don't know where these worms are going to come from and when. Everyone follow me.
Great. I think at this time you hear a noise, a rustle behind you, jump scare Angie.
I've been jump scared.
You've been jump scared. Who is it who's behind Angie?
Probably Priscilla.
Yeah, I
show
think
willing.
to show willing. I think Priscilla, you've stepped on a twig, and you've set off jump scare Angie at this time. So it's actually jump scare Angie, not the actual worm that's getting you. So I'm going to.
Naomi,
Jesus
what are you
Christ.
doing? Setting us against each other.
I can't draw for shit. It
It's a
doesn't
really
matter.
sharp stick.
Doesn't matter.
It's a really sharp stick. How do you fend off jump scare Angie as she's suddenly like, ah, and then goes to stab you, Priscilla?
I think Priscilla just closes her eyes and just comes down and chops jump scare Angie's mop in half with the little hatchet.
No!
Broken my mop. Sorry, I thought.
I'm sorry. I just panicked.
you were a
It was
worm.
pointy. It was pointy and it coming towards me. I'm very sorry. I'll make it up to you. I'll buy you
Priscilla.
a new mop.
You
There is
shouldn't be
no
so
I
sneaky.
in team. We need to be working together as a team, as a unit, as a team, as a unit, as a team. 1, 2, 3,
Meanwhile,
team.
Angie's just sharpened both ends so that both the broken bits have sharp spikes on them now. So
She's
it's
now
like,
got like a
Dual
kind of
wielding.
goes, yeah, it's all right. 2 weapons is better than 1 anyway. Let's go.
It's at that point that you that Angie steps forward and sees a sort of shambling mound-esque shape coming in the dark and begins stabbing towards it.
Yeah.
And then over in the corner of her eye, she spots a second one.
Good job, I've got 2 weapons.
2 weapons is better than 1.
Yeah.
And you see 2 worm ends come out of the dirt. You don't know if it's part of the same worm or if it's the worm bride, in fact.
Different guys.
Who fucking knows? It's hard to tell their gender from here. And you're being got by the worm.
Oh no.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just really excited. I just drew something that was worth
something red.
anything. Okay, so you have 4 relationships.
Lovely.
There is Ferdinand can ruin your life, but that's it. Fucking jokers.
What does that mean?
Nothing. I don't know what to do with him.
Does it mean we win?
Stabby beats round. You won again.
Yeah.
And tell me how you escape the worm and worm 2, the wormening.
So I think I just kind of say, you picked the wrong day to mess with jump scare Angie. And I just kind of go past, just stabbing as frantically as possible with both of my weapons, both ends of the weapons, because both are sharpened. Just trying to like get this big worm as much as possible while I make my way past it.
Right, you start to run past it, and the body of the worm starts coming out of the dirt in response to your stabbing and sliding across. And it's going to take a slap at Ferdinand. Go.
Oh, he's gonna cry out, "Take the children, not me!" and just flail with the axe.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. God damn it. Every time.
It's so powerful.
I can't kill anyone. The Worm King clearly hears you and goes after the children at this time.
Thank you.
Worm's like, yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Much more
More meals
feasible.
first, appetizers. Who am I going after next? What are you 2 doing?
I think Lillian, she's ready. This is her moment. This is her big penalty shootout moment. She's taught visualizing from the coach. She visualizes herself on the pitch. She says to herself, "Come home with a trophy, or don't come home."
Oh, God.
Jesus Christ.
Oh!
On the last card.
Ooh.
Okay, so it's a hit for hit match. There is slapping. There is pushing. Does Jump Scare Angie want to help me out here?
Yeah. Wait, what? Help you the worm out?
Doesn't matter. Great. So it's slap for slap. How does Lillian get away from the worm this time?
She's swinging her sledgehammer. She manages to get a bonk in and realizes it's actually very difficult and much heavier than the lacrosse stick. So she drops it and she's gonna sprint out of range.
Exceedingly good. And Lou.
Hello.
Last chance. What are you doing at this time?
I mean, I think possibly Priscilla is now slightly more wary of Ferdinand, who she was trying to impress, but thinks maybe she should choose a different adult to try and please, and maybe she fancies her chances more with Jump Scare Angie.
Right.
And so decides to form up with Jump Scare Angie.
You follow Jump Scare Angie, and you realize you're actually the worms are essentially herding you towards the lake. So they're slowly pushing and pushing and pushing, and you come to the point where you're like, do I get in a boat? Like, do I get on the lake? And you start walking along the pier. So there's a jetty, a little wooden jetty. And I'm gonna try and kill all of you.
Don't.
Okay, so I'm gonna do the monster first. Fuck me. Okay, who wants to go next?
Yeah, go on. Jump Scare Angie.
We'll go in
Lives.
order, shall we? Jump Scare Angie, and then Priscilla,
Priscilla,
and then
dead.
Ferdinand.
Ferdinand,
Ferdinand.
alive.
No.
Lillian, alive. Priscilla. Priscilla is the one. What is it that Priscilla's doing that causes her to be the one that doesn't make it?
I think Priscilla, when she is backing towards the lake, she hasn't really paid attention to how long the little jetty is. She's just constantly looking over at the adults to see both if they are approving of what she's doing and and to see if there's anything that she needs to do what she's told. And I think that when she gets to the end, she kind of takes half a step back, realizes there isn't a step there, and then
falls into the mouth of a comically waiting worm, licking its lips underneath the jetty.
I did what I was told.
Thank you.
I'm
Very,
imagining the worms
very
as
much.
like Jim Henson style puppets now.
Yeah, I'm
for
sorry.
sure.
Listen, I'm not good at this. It's fine.
No. It's like or like Little Shop of Horror style puppets.
Oh, also exceedingly good. Fab. So I think our next scene is trying to start. So there is a rusted out car, which some of our characters are trying to get started. Who's trying to get that started? Who do we have?
Definitely Nyx. She's stolen a car, gone a joyride a few times.
Oh, for sure.
Baz, I think, probably has the. I think it's not a car. I think it's a minivan. I think there's a camp.
Very good. Yeah.
There's a camp minivan that the Baz is the key holder for. So it has had to have gone there. Maybe it was Nyx's idea, but Baz has had to go in and take them from the key box. And
I think we've still got Ginny, haven't we?
Yeah, we have.
Yes. Yeah, I think Ginny's as well helping. She's like, you know what? If my parents aren't going to come and pick me up or send the driver, I'm going to hotwire a car and get myself out of here.
I'll drive myself.
Yeah.
I think Betty is gravitating towards Baz's chill energy and trying to absorb the vibes.
Yes.
In an attempt to escape safely.
So you come across this large minivan, and when you try to open the front door, Baz realizes the key he actually has is for the back. So you're gonna have to go in through the back of the minivan and crawl over the seats to get to the front and then hotwire it.
Normally the driver holds the door open for me.
It's okay. It's okay, little dude. Absolutely. Like, you just go right on in there. If everyone stays calm, it's gonna be totally fine. In you go, Jenny. I will hold this door. It's cool. It's cool. You just go right on in.
Okay, thank you.
Ginny, sorry.
What was the time and place of your birth, Ginny?
I don't know. I don't tend to have that info to hand.
All right, then I'll settle for your birthday. The reading won't be quite as accurate.
Yeah, it's the 18th of October.
Yes, all right. I'm afraid that your star is crossing Jupiter, so things don't look bright for you.
And as she says that, you take a step into the van. It's kind of dark inside, but strangely, because you were so desperate to be the first person in, you have elected to go and see if you can get into the front and unlock the door for everyone else. And you hear a sort of strange slithering in the dark. There's something sliding around in here. In fact, when you step down to step into the thing and you put your hand on it, it's almost wet. It's like slimy a little bit.
Ooh. Hi, is there a driver in here? Are you... I think there's a slippery driver in here.
And as you say that, I probably don't kill you, but I'm gonna try.
Give it your best shot.
I'll it's
You
a
might.
good shot.
You might.
Oh, there it is.
Not good enough. Baz, if you want to watch her die or not?
No, absolutely not.
Great,
No,
okay.
I will,
Excellent. So, as you step in and you slip and you think that you're gonna fall and maybe crack your head or disturb whatever is in here, but you manage to catch yourself and you work your way over the seats.
Okay.
Baz, you are there and you can hear her sort of rumbling around in the back, and you go in to help. What happens next?
Ginny, there is a light just above the driver's seat. If you could just put that on, that would really help.
A worm's sensitive to light because I think there's a worm in here. I don't think it's the driver.
There's a you gotta come out. We've got to protect. Come on out. If there's a worm in there, you've got to come back on out. Come on there, bud. Come on back out.
I think maybe it'll be fine
real
if we don't
slow.
wake it up.
I think Baz is actually is waving quite a lot and opening the door to help try and get you out. Is actually rocking the van a little bit. It's almost disturbing. Something slimy in there.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna drive myself.
Can you drive? You ever driven a vehicle at all?
How hard can it be?
Fair enough.
Our driver does it every
Probably
day.
has the vehicles on her estate.
Golf cart, obviously.
Yeah.
I've drawn for you. You have not died. Congratulations. I'm the worst killer ever invented, guys. This is really, it's never happened like this before. This never happens to me, okay? It wasn't there.
I'm not normally a
usually
bad
like
killer, you guys.
In
Normally
a
good
minute,
at
maybe it'll be
killing.
better.
I'm so good at killing all usually.
You
There's probably a load of camping equipment in the
sure,
in the
for
back.
sure.
So I think I'm probably gonna try and like plug the hole with sleeping bags and tarps and
Push
you
it
know,
back into the earth, essentially.
push it back into the earth. Yeah.
Right, okay. So you start slowly pushing it, sort of slowly scooping it back in. What are the other guys doing while this is happening? What are you doing outside the van?
I think Nyx is like looking for a big rock. She's like, why are we trying to unlock it? We'll just smash the window. We've got to go.
Great. Smash that window.
She picks up the biggest, sharpest rock she can find, and she just launches it at the driver's side window.
She does. And Nyx has not got a lot of cards in their hand. And in fact, I'm not even going to draw another one because you have 0 screen presence and I need someone to die.
Fair enough.
Tell me what happens next, Michelle.
I think she smashes this window and she reaches in her arm to like do the thing where you unlock it from the inside. And she sort of just freezes. And then the rest of the group see as her head goes in, and then all of her goes in, and there is silence.
Oh no.
Ginny's like,
Who was that?
Who was she?
I like to think that you smash in the window and there's like the sound and everyone's like, oh my god, and suddenly instead of slowly pushing the creature just whips into the hole. And you're like, wow, we scared it away. And then obviously Nyx just disappears from the window of the car and you're like, oh no. Oh no. What's Nyx's final line as they disappear into the moor?
Banksy was me!
Really good. Extremely good. Thank you very much. John, please will you kill Nyx?
He already has.
Great. It's slower on the stream. I've got a bit of lag. Fab. So, we are now down to 8 people. Okay?
Oof.
It's going to be a little freaky. I think that having had such a terrible time with the car, I think that there's this sort of idea that you're going to be able to bunk down until the light comes. Where do you think you'd bunk down, guys? Where do you think would be a sensible place, or an unsensible place?
The kitchen. It has lots of
equipment shed.
knives. Oh.
Kitchen is good, and equipment shed also great. Let's start with the kitchen.
Yeah.
So the kitchen is very remnant of a very good film, Jurassic Park. Steel, benches, swinging doors, and it's very importantly got a big, large flagstone floor. So nothing is coming up through the dirt to come and get you. So who's here?
Jump scare Angie is here.
Yep, jump scare Angie's here.
Jane's here.
Jane's there.
I think Ferdinand has to be here to protect his turf.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I think Lillian is here.
Great. So what are you doing when you're bunking down? What does that look like for these characters?
So, the secret to hiding really well is find a corner, crouch, stay very still. No one ever sees you.
But what if I just kind of get the urge to dance? Like, what if I just have like a fairy moment where the mood takes me and I just need to like float around and dance a bit?
Then you'll die, and we'll all live, and we'll use the worm eating you as an opportunity to escape.
I mean,
cool. So I'll do some
if
good
any
either
of the
way.
children survive, I want this one to survive. She has the right idea.
I'm not sure I want to be Ferdinand's favourite.
Alright,
difficult
safety
choice.
first, children. She's got a handful of colanders, and inspired by Naomi's drawing, she's going to give
Thank
everyone
you.
colanders to wear on their head as protection from worms and, infrared rays and 4G,
Yeah, for
5G.
sure. From the Wi-Fi. It's you're putting on these headpieces, let's call them, and it's then that you realize you can feel like it's like the worms are trying to get in. There's almost like they're slamming against the flagstones underneath, but they can't get in, and it's at that point that you kind of feel something different. Like, you definitely locked the door when you came in here. locked the door when you came in here, right?
I think I might have... Oh, the fairies can't get in if we keep the door locked. So I thought maybe...
Are you a fucking moron? What are you doing? And Lillian
just-
bolts for the door.
thought the fairies could protect us.
As you open the door, there is just this sort of pink wall that greets you and that you slam into, and you freeze as you see this. You can see the heart almost through this sort of translucent, wet surface, and you wonder if it felt you hitting the side of it or not. And it starts to move slowly at first. Is it going away? And you're all dead still. When suddenly the movement stops, dead. And the movement starts to reverse. Slowly at first, then faster and faster. And I'm going to try and kill all of you to give you only a card each. So sorry. Listen.
Do it.
Don't. Oh.
Oh,
Good one.
don't be gross.
So I'm gonna start with Lillian. Lillian survives.
Yes, come on! Says Lillian.
Jump scare Angie. Jump scare Angie does not make it through this scene.
Fan favourite jump scare Angie.
Fan favorite jump scare Angie. Ferdinand.
No.
Ferdinand does not make it through this scene.
Boo. Boo.
And neither does Jane.
Whoa.
Lillian, you're the only one that
Jane.
survives. How do you survive this situation, leaving the others to their doom?
I think it's the pink is sort of coming past the door.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that when Lillian, tells Jane that she's a moron, and as she's running towards the door, she grabs a kitchen knife.
Mm-hmm.
No, she doesn't. No, she doesn't. She grabs a handful of utensils out of a pot.
Okay, great.
And then as she is going towards the door and she sees the creature there, she throws all of the utensils backwards, which creates a big noise behind her, and the worms run in the direction of the noise, giving her an opening to get out of the kitchen.
The worm in front of you sort of disappears into the earth. You watch it disappear. It reacts to the noise. For the rest of you, it's actually, you hear there's like a big fireplace, and it's at that moment that you realize that the bottom of the fireplace is not sealed, like it's on the dirt.
Oh no.
Who's closest to the fireplace at this point? I feel like it might be Ferdinand.
Yeah. I think so.
Ferdinand, what happens to you?
I think Ferdinand is rummaging through a drawer of knives, trying to pick the sharpest one, and then just feels something wet on his shoulder, looks around, and is just like, oh no, my life was such a waste. And then just like the head just gets absorbed into this giant maw.
The two of you have got your colanders on. So you hear the clatter and you turn, and then when you turn back, Ferdinand is gone. Is it? I think Jumpscare Angie's probably the last one to go. So what happens to Jane in this situation? You've just seen a man disappear.
I think it takes her a moment to kind of actually process what's going on. I think she sort of looks kind of tilts her head to the side and just gets engulfed by the worm before she has a chance to do anything.
What's her last statement before she disappears?
Oh, it was the worm. Watch out, guys.
Perfect. And jump scare Angie. You know the worm is here. You have sharpened implements. You make a valiant last stand. What happens?
She kind of looks at her sharp mop heads and she throws them to the ground, and she pulls out of her pockets the many fireworks that she's been hoarding, and she lights one of the little gas hobs powered by one of those little portable gas generators. She lights them up and she goes, "I'm taking you with me, motherfucker!" Just holds them and runs at the worm as they explode into a beautiful light show of just destruction.
I feel like the problem is that she begins to run, but the fuse on these things is way too short.
Yeah, it's
way too short. And we almost get a quizzical worm look as she just disintegrates like 3 feet from the worm. You know, he's over here in the other half of the kitchen, and she's like, "I'm coming again." Just like not even the second half of the sentence. And the worm sort of turns to camera like, wah, wah, wah.
Well, so this is a PG-13 slasher movie, so if she gets as far as, "I'm taking you with me, mother!" explodes.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. So we have
you can
left.
explode in a shower of blood and gore, but you can't say fuck.
Exactly.
You can't say fuck.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think at this point we are running from cabin to cabin.
Ooh.
And we come across the disused cabin that's not been used for many years now for some reason. That's up and far away from all the rest. And we think maybe if we're quiet, we might be able to get away. And also they might have some radios. You know, this is where the like little radio tinker guy that we definitely mentioned previously in the story used to stay. Who is in this scene?
I think Fern has been in here for a while since the tree climbing incident at the start of this adventure. I think Fern has found this place and has holed up. And since a couple of others have kind of found it as well, but she's been in there fortifying it and with the intention of hunkering down for a while.
I think Betty's still here, isn't she?
Yep.
Yeah, Betty's there. She says, "My
That makes
horoscope
sense.
told me to find an isolated place with new opportunities."
I think Baz is here. We still got Baz, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. Yeah, we've got Baz. He's like, "We just need to find somewhere to chill out, I think, dude. Just kick back for a little bit. This worm stuff's crazy."
And we've got Ginny or Lillian.
I think Lillian bursts in, just having escaped the worms, and is just like, "Yes, survival of the fittest."
What has Fern managed to cobble together in this time?
I think Fern has spent most of the time barricading the doorway and putting a series of, I think because it's disused, a couple of at least one of the windows was broken.
Obviously, yes.
So I think she's kind of, but that's okay, because she's kind of trying to make it so that there's sharp points on entrances to the windows, which would cut soft wormy flesh. So
Yes.
she's trying to make the windows all pointy and the door
This is
barred.
very Home Alone kind of
Very
setup.
Home Alone. Yeah.
But you hear the others coming and they're like, let us in. They're making a lot of noise. So you let them in. And you're all in this cabin together. Who is it who notices the dripping sound first?
Not Baz.
Not Baz.
I think it's actually Betty. I think she's pulled out sort of tarot deck And she's shuffling the cards. Like, this will give us a clue how to get out. And she hears the dripping, and she's like, "Oh!" And she's like trying to protect these very pretty cards from getting water on them. What's dripping?
What kind of? They're a novelty set of tarot cards, obviously. What kind of novelty is it?
They're Sailor Moon.
Obviously.
Yeah.
You look up, and you notice that there is like a floorboard, well, a ceiling board that's got a drip coming from it. And something slimy is up in the attic.
Oh, hey, leaky roof.
Who goes to investigate? Everyone's like,
I think
not
Baz
me.
does. I think Baz goes.
I mean, it could have been
It's just gonna be
Anyone
a
except
leak,
me.
you guys. It's really nothing to worry about. I'll go check it out.
Okay, so
You guys stay groovy, okay?
they stay groovy.
Excellent, good.
You work your way up a creaky ladder to a surprisingly large attic with a singular window letting in the moonlight. And there's like almost a perfectly rectangular stream, and right at the end of it there's sort of a wet shape.
Ooh.
And this is what happens when you touch it.
Nothing
You put out a hand to touch it, and it sort of uncurls itself slowly.
Oh,
And
hey.
hey, little guy, and it looks at you quizzically, and sort of
I'm
starts.
Baz.
Yeah, what do you do with this worm child?
Is it quite small? Like, is it bigger or smaller than me? I know it's a giant worm, but it's a baby giant worm.
It's about the size of a 7-foot man,
Okay,
but
cool.
it's all curled up like a little creature.
worm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
thank
I
you.
reckon Baz actually feels like he can maybe win over this worm with the power of music and like maybe
And friendship.
yeah, so like I think he just has a little ukulele on him at all times. I think he pulls it out and goes, "Here's a little song I know about being kind to others," and then just starts singing a song, hoping that it will like have some
How's that
good
song go,
vibes
Laura?
on the worm. Oh, it goes, "We've all gotta be kind to each other, 'cause being kind is the only way. Every day we're being kind, love to be kind." Yeah, there
A
we
top
go.
40 hit if I ever heard one.
Yeah, I think so. And then he goes to
Stunning.
the worm, "Clap along if you know the words."
And to his horror, the
He claps
worm
along.
little hands burst out the side, and you hear a wet,
pretty horrifying.
slow clap.
That's what I'm talking about, dude. Yeah.
Oh, that dripping sound managed to go perfectly with Naomi's clap. It actually sounded like a wet clap.
And I think maybe you start to do a little jig.
Yeah.
And it's then where you hear another wet tear as a pair of legs. And it stands up to its full height, half worm, half man.
Wow.
And what's everyone doing downstairs at this time?
I think Betty, she's just pulled her tarot card of Tuxedo Mask dressed as the Grim Reaper. And
Okay.
she's like, "Now, listen, I know what you think, but death actually can be a positive card. It can be new beginnings, changes."
It might be. Yeah, it's new beginnings.
You know? And she just moves out the way in time for like another big blob of wet
Yeah,
drip
yeah.
past and keeps the cards out the way. I
Fern,
had these imported from the internet.
from the internet. Fern, you can hear music playing upstairs in your very like defensible quiet zone. What would you like to do?
I think without who's in the room apart from Baz and Betty? No, who else is there? Who else is there?
And
Lillian.
Lillian.
Okay. Fern eyes Lillian and looks towards the door and starts to lift up one of her barricades from the door and motions to Lillian that she might want to help out.
Lillian immediately goes for the heaviest looking thing to try and portray prowess in this moment.
I am the best at undoing barricades.
I think, Lillian, you're lifting something quite heavy, and that may come with consequences.
Yeah.
What happened?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Probably not. No. You lift this heavy barricade without issue. No issues whatsoever. You're so buff. You're so buff. And Fern, when you step outside, what do you see?
Well, this cabin is slightly set back, isn't it? Because it's the abandoned thing.
Yeah.
So I would assume that they don't want campers just wandering in willy-nilly. So I assume there's a chain link fence.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a little bit, back from the door to stop people wandering in. And
yeah, it's at that point that you hear a noise from upstairs. It seems like whatever the song is that has entranced this worm man baby, it has decided to sing along with its worm-like scream.
oh dear.
Stunning.
Yeah,
dear.
and you hear a worm-like scream call and reply, obviously concerned for what is happening to its worm man baby.
Hey, everybody clap your hands.
Everybody clap your hands.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Good audio.
And you see the chain link fence lift. Just briefly, just up and down once. But that is enough for you to know. You're probably gonna be fine. Don't worry about it. How do you narrowly avoid this attack from the worm mother at this time?
I think when she sees the chain link fence go up, she goes into a defensive crouch, and as the sort of the mound comes near her, she does a leap.
Like a little roll leap.
Just leapfrogs it, and does a little army roll over the top.
Completely missed by it.
Yeah.
Is there anyone I've not tried to kill? Lillian.
Yes.
Obviously, you're not really that interested in doing delicate little rolls and waiting. You are ready to go. So your heavy footsteps hit the ground in a way that's very detectable to worms, as we all know.
Worm
Famously.
facts.
Worm
Oh,
facts!
no. Red and pointy.
Yeah, red and pointy.
Ooh.
And a worm scream comes out of the ceiling again, out of the attic. And this time the worm scream in response is much, much closer. What happens?
I think Lillian is like, I'm tired of running. I'm gonna face this head on. And runs and tries to punch the worm mother in the not face. And and the worm mother just catches Lillian's hand in her maw and pulls her in for the final embrace of death.
And what is Lillian's last line as she disappears into the worm?
Oh. I hope my death was the most dramatic.
I hope my death was the best
death ever.
I died so good.
And she goes into sort of little crunchy pieces as Lillian dies. I'm so sorry, Lillian.
Oh no.
So we are left with Baz, Betty, Fern, and Ginny, which is truly a surprising experience. So you are there, and I think
Or,
it's
as I've
Baz.
just noticed,
Pardon?
I started to say, or, as I've just noticed, Geneva.
Geneva. Yes. Yes. I think it was
noticed.
Yeah, I think it was Geneva in the thing, and I couldn't figure out the spelling. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
It's Ginny.
It's Ginny. It's maybe why I went with Ginny. So, Ginny, you are desperately trying to figure out a way to get out of this place, and you've come across a golf cart. Now, a golf cart is something you can definitely drive, Ginny. Who's playing Ginny right now?
I'll go Jenny. I don't think I've played Jenny yet.
Great. Ginny can drive a golf cart because Daddy's golf course has many of them. And you're allowed to basically drive one round the property because obviously walking around the property would take forever. Or at least it would before the shareholders got hold of it.
Yeah, the golf course is long gone, but they're still holding onto the cart.
Yeah,
For nostalgic sake.
For sure. You know, just for when the golf course comes back, obviously.
Yeah.
And that's when you bump into the others hot-footing it with a large wet creature running behind them. Who's playing Councillor Baz?
I'll be Baz.
Great. You have charmed a man worm baby. Congratulations. That leaves Betty and Fern.
I've just been Fern, so I'll be Betty.
Cool, I'll be
Okay.
fun.
Great. This golf cart pulls up beside you and you all jump in. Where are you going to head, guys? Where do you think is the best place to go now?
Towards the nearest tarmacked road.
Right, okay, great. There is a tarmac road with a spooky style gas station with an old man who refuses to answer the door. You are starting on this road, you peel out and you're like, okay, we're out of camp, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it out. And then the golf cart starts to sputter a little. And it's classic, it's running out of gas. You pull into the old gas station. What happens next?
I think Baz is okay, guys. Just see if you can find the guy who runs this place, and I'll keep our new friend calm. And he just gently, his ukulele, he's just lullabying. Ooh, baby, do you know that that's warm? Ooh, beneath the. I mean, he's just gonna try and.
Very good. 2 lines was more than I thought you were gonna get out of that. I'm very impressed.
I ran out of steam quickly, but I got 2 lines in, and we're just gonna keep gently serenading the worm baby, man, baby.
What is Fern doing right now?
I think Fern's trying to put gas into the golf cart so we
Okay.
can run it more.
And Betty, what are you doing?
I think Betty has got out her. Are we in a phones world? Are we in a?
Yeah, you probably don't have a smartphone like
Okay.
because you're going away to camp.
Okay.
It's probably like a Nokia deal.
All right. Okay. That's not going to work then. Okay. So in that case, she is getting a little book out, a little pocket book out of her pocket, and is looking up to see if she can work out which direction town is, depending
Right.
on the
Position of the
stars.
stars. Very good. And Ginny, what causes Ginny to leave the golf cart?
Ooh, I think, yeah, because I was very much imagining Ginny kind of like with the foot on the pedal just waiting to leave, but maybe...
It's okay. Ginny can be waiting to leave. It is. You are looking at the stars, trying to find a way out, and you sort of you wander off a little bit, to try and get a better view. Should we see what happens next to Betty?
Yeah. Pointy.
Hey.
Betty, what is it that causes you to run back to the golf cart?
Sorry, are we on Betty or Ginny?
Betty.
Betty.
Oh, sorry, me. Okay, cool. So I see a little twinkle up, which I think start off thinking is a shooting star, and I get all excited, and then see that it's actually a satellite, and I'm feeling a bit disheartened by it. And so she's kind of puts her head down, but then she sees that something. She looks back at the road, and what was once a smooth tarmac road has now got a couple of bubbles in it.
Oh, very good.
And so
Very
she makes a beeline back to the golf cart.
Great. Fern, you're aggressively trying to put fuel in when Betty comes peeling out. Should we see what happens next?
Yeah. Oh.
I think very little.
Oh.
Literally the lowest card in the deck. So you begin filling up with gas, and it's pumping in. It's almost full. Baz and Worm Baby, what's happening?
We're vibing, you know. Baz is still strumming away on the ukulele, trying to think of another worm pun, but hadn't got one yet. So it's just kind of gone with a beautiful love song.
There is no justice in the world if Baz isn't the next one to go.
Yeah, the Worm Baby actually gets kind of a bit restless.
Oh no.
And it sort of moves its head like it's looking for something. And you see just outside the door of this petrol station, there is a vending machine, and it bumps its head against the glass of the vending machine, and then it puts a hand against it, and it slaps it. It starts slapping it, desperate to get the contents inside.
Oh, you hungry little fella! Let me help you out there. And Baz will be like, I learned an old trick back in the day, and pulls out a coin with a string on it. Pops it into the slot and then tries to yank it back, but the vending machine starts to wobble dangerously.
Yes. The vending machine starts to wobble dangerously. And do you push the worm man baby out of the way as it begins to fall?
Oh yes. Baz is like, save yourself, my little dude, and he pushes the worm baby away.
And
I love Baz.
Yeah, and it's at that moment
It's
it's
Final
Baz
Girl, Laura.
It's Baz jam, I'm afraid. As Baz is obliterated. As the vending machine falls to the ground with a heavy thunk. Like almost an upsettingly heavy thunk. And it's at that point that the worm man baby starts to cry. It's lost its friend and also its chance of getting a chocolate bar for the first time. And it's almost inconsolable actually. And it starts to yell out a wail.
Can Fern just try and stab it to put it out of its misery? Because I feel like
you certainly can try.
It's just gonna go wrong if we keep it around.
Okay. Fern. Are you ready, Fern?
Yeah, I'm so ready.
Oh! Fern, tell me how this goes wrong.
I think Fern just is really quietly, like she kind of gestures to the others to be quiet. She's like stealthily, like she's learned from her like camping in the wilderness and hunting. She's staying very calm, very quiet, trying to sneak up behind it and slit its throat, maybe. I don't know. Like I don't know where its head is, but it has arms. Slit the area above the arms, maybe.
Above the arms is a good
I
shout.
think she kind of gets up behind it, and it just suddenly turns around, goes wah, 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 and just eats her. Yeah, she's done.
I think you go to stab it, and one of its hands grabs you at the wrist.
Yes, I forgot. Yeah, that's better.
and you drop the knife, and it's sort of like it has a hold of your wrist, and the other hand it's almost blindly searching for you, and then it gets its hand on your head, and just its mouth face almost splits in half into a big circular maw, and then it grabs you by the hair and just
Yeah, I kind of brought that upon myself, really, didn't I?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Cards are
Are
finally
those fans'
hitting.
last words?
Yes.
Yeah, those are fans' last words, yeah.
Nice.
Leaving us with surprise of all surprises, Ginny and Betty.
Yes, girlies.
Ginny, you see this happen. Your foot is flat on the pedal, I assume. You are trying to turn over the golf cart and get away. Tell me what happens next.
I think Ginny is completely panicking at this point and kind of turns to Betty and says, I have a confession to make. I don't know if it came up in your readings or your cards, but my family is poor.
Oh. Is that why your hair extensions aren't really attached very well anymore?
Oh, I didn't think anyone had noticed. I thought I'd disguised it really well.
Ginny begins to cry, and so at that point, you see that the man-worm baby is also sobbing, and
no.
and the tarmac starts to move. And you finally get the engine to turn over, and you've been and then it clicks in, and that rhythmic noise really allows them to sort of center into where you are. And just as you put your heeled foot, flat pedal to the floor, the front of the golf cart just disappears. So the hood of the golf cart is just as two worms, the Worm King and the Worm Queen, bite through the golf cart looking for you and trying to save their worm man baby child. Betty, you didn't predict this. What would you like to do now?
We got half a golf cart. Cart?
Golf cart, yes.
Half a golf cart. I guess I'll the North Star's up there. Town is north. I'm gonna grab Ginny's hand and say, "Run!"
Great. Shall we see how well that goes? Well enough.
It's fine.
You are running along the road. You're running. You are starting to see the lights of town. What is it that causes you to stop?
I think one of Ginny's shoes breaks even more.
The heel breaks on Ginny's shoe.
No.
Oh, Ginny.
Ginny, what happens?
Oh.
I think this is the final straw, the final humiliation upon humiliation. And as she looks at her shoe, which is clearly beyond repair, she has tried to repair it so many times and just has failed. And she lingers too long looking back at the shoe on the ground broken. And that gives the worms just enough time to catch up and grab her by the foot, pull her back with her hands scraping along the tarmac, going, "No!"
And what are Ginny's last words?
I'm dying poor. No.
I'm dying poor.
Ew.
Ew.
I'm too gross.
So you die poor. Betty, what is it? So when you get to the edge of town, what is it you do that sends the worms back into the night? as the sun begins to rise?
I think I'm not sure it's something that she does, but I think that as she's running, it's like the sun's just setting, the sun's just coming up, and like a big, like, flatbed truck comes along the road, and or maybe a couple of them do, and you know they do like the whole big honk thing when they see each other, and they've got lights all blaring, and I think possibly one of the worms has come up to grab Ginny, and suddenly this truck comes and hits the man baby, and the worm king screams. And the truck stops, like squeals, because it can feel that it's hit something. And so it stops, and Betty opens the cab door and says, we must go. There's the worms. And it's just me. And I'm the final girl.
Hey! Wow. Very good. Betty was our final girl. Stunning.
Screen present point, Betty.
One screen present point, Betty.
Astrology is real.
Yeah, can we just like round of applause for the astrology?
It was very good.
Come through, constellations.
Thank you all so much for playing. I drew terribly, but I had a wonderful, wonderful time. That was Final Girl by Gas Mask Games. You can buy it on Drive-Thru RPG. It's very reasonable. The page numbering doesn't make a lot of sense, but other than that, it's pretty good. This has been Actual Play UK. Remember to subscribe and follow and keep up to date with what we're doing. There is Thursday's Delta Green continuing campaign is happening. October 30th and 31st is Shiver, because I said I wanted to do a Halloween thing, and then everyone else did because I'm a trendsetter. November 10th is Heart Part 2. But more importantly, with us today, we've had our final girl, Lou Fryer. Tell us about yourself and where we can find you to close up. Thank you very much.
Woo! Thank you very much. I have been Lou Fryer, and I have been the final girl, and you can find me finally at I am Lou Fryer on all of the socials, and you can also find my podcast of Dice and Them. Our Halloween special went live today, so please go check that out. It was incredibly silly. Apparently I like a silly game. It's probably our best episode. And so go check that out. And also listen out for our new Blaze in the Dark campaign that's coming in December.
Wow, you said Blaze in the Dark, so it must be time for Michelle.
Hey, I am Michelle Kelly. I am an actor, singer, voice actor, Blaze in the Dark enthusiast, and the chill counselor under the vending machine. You can find me on all the internet places at Michellecopter to see which streaming channel I'm going to pop up on next.
Maddy.
Yes, I have been Maddy Searle. You can find me on all the socials at Maddy is Abstract. And I have a little podcast which I'm hoping to bring back very soon. It's been on hiatus, but it should be coming back at some point in the future. A Game of One's Own, where I play solo and two-player RPGs. There's already a few episodes out, so this is a perfect time to catch up before more episodes hit your podcatchers.
And Laura.
Hi, I've been Laura Girling. You can mostly find me on Realms of Peril and Glory, which is at realmspod.com or wherever you get your podcasts. At the moment, I'm in the Carnival du Vale series along with Maddy. We're playing 13th Age along with some of the other core Realms cast and also Jasper William Cartwright.
Fabulous. And if you're in London tomorrow, many of us will be at MCM and we'll be experiencing some more rising stars of RPGs, I believe. So come along and say hi if you're coming down. But for now, I have been Naomi Clark, and you can find me at Naomi Thinks It all over the internet. And you can find my show, which Michelle is very good in, at the Kilda. Or you can find me with Maddy and Laura on Realms. Thank you for watching Actual Play UK. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at Actual Play UK. What a beautiful night we've had. Thank you. You are the final girl, chat. Thank you very much for coming.
Woo!
Have an excellent night. Bye, bye, bye. We'll catch you on the next one.
Bye.